The Saints have been heavily linked to Christian Boyd throughout the draft process, and in the sixth round, they just decided to finally take the defensive tackle from Northern Iowa. Let's talk about the pick right here on the Straight Up Saints podcast.
You're listening to the Straight Up Saints podcast.
What is up, Who Dat Nation? Welcome back inside another quick video from the Straight Up Saints podcast. I'm your host, Chris Rosvogel, and as always, we're brought to you by Scott Fickner Injury Lawyers and Crystal. So the Saints in the sixth round decide to address the defensive line finally and get Christian Boyd, a guy that if they took a round earlier, I would have been pumped about. Now you get him in the sixth round, even better value in my position. This is a very, very intriguing prospect. For starters, the Saints had interest with him throughout the process, right? They had meetings. I spoke to Boyd personally. Now, again, it was via messages, but he said pretty clear that the Saints did like him throughout the process. And clearly that holds true for them to go get him. And the thing about Christian Boyd that I find intriguing is this is a guy that is getting better as a pass rusher, but I think you take him hoping he can be a good run stuffer and rotational piece. So you can kind of mold him into what you want to be at defensive tackle. And the main concern on him is probably going to be the short arms. That's probably going to be the main concern. If you read about him, if you hear about him, that's going to be the main problem that people are going to bring up. But I think that the Saints right now at defensive tackle, outside of Brian Brzee, are lacking impact players. Colin Saunders didn't play that well this past season. Nathan Shepard didn't play that well this season. So for the Saints to go out there and get themselves a nice defensive tackle, I think this is a good move for them. Very, very low risk in the sixth round. I think the value kind of adds up to everything we've been doing as a team, right? You look at Kool-Aid McKinstry, great value. Look at Fuaga, great value. I think you do the same thing here with Christian Boyd. So Saints beef up the defensive line a bit, get a player who I personally like, which makes me a little bit happy, although that doesn't necessarily mean they'll have success. It's just nice to see them get one of those players. And again, Northern Iowa last time around wasn't too kind to the Saints with penning. We'll see on the other side of the ball if it is, but this was absolutely a position of need. And honestly, outside of maybe offensive guard and safety, I think the Saints have done a good job of addressing their needs. Needed a wide receiver, they grabbed Bub Means today. Needed another quarterback, they get Spencer Rattler. Needed to go get a defensive tackle, they just did that with Christian Boyd. So I think they've done a good job, and obviously we've seen them add a DB in McKinstry and then offensive line in Fuaga. So Saints are having a pretty nice draft, hitting a lot of necessary needs, and Boyd just kind of checks off the next box on the list. So let me know what you guys think about the pick. Do you like it? Are you indifferent about it? Do you not like it? Let me know below. But I think this makes a lot of sense for the Saints, and I'm excited to see if Boyd can kind of develop into that next rotational piece at defensive tackle, which they've had success with. Think of a guy like a Shy Tuttle. So we'll see what happens here, but I like the move for the Saints. And that's going to wrap it up for this quick video from the Straight Up Saints podcast, the destination for the Who Dat Nation.